Hello and welcome to the History of Photography 2. My name is January Parkos Arnall and I'll be your instructor for this course. I look forward to exploring this fascinating topic with you. We'll be in a course for 5.5 weeks. I'm a fine art photographer, but in the years following my PhD, I've primarily worked with museums and nonprofit organizations to conceive and coordinate various contemporary art exhibitions. Although my doctorate is in cultural studies and museum studies, my dissertation was on the history of photography at the turn of the 20th century. You can find out more about me personally and my autobiography on our week 1 assignment and through my websites at www.laarttheory.com and januaryparkosarnall.com. So I also encourage you to reach out through Twitter, Vine, or Instagram. Social media really does help us find ways to get to know one another, even though we're in a virtual classroom. Speaking of our classroom, your first step after viewing this video, obviously, should be the Course Home tab, which is to your left. You'll find many key areas of information here, including the course description and requirements. You should not proceed to any of the coursework until you have read and understood all of this information. Once you've read this and you understand it, or if you have questions, please leave me a note in the discussion folder that's at the bottom of the Academic Expectations page. So you'll click on Course Home, Academic Expectations, and then at the very bottom of that page, you'll see a dialog box where I've already inputted one post myself. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them there on that information. Otherwise, just leave me a quick note saying that you've read and understood all of this information. It's kind of an informal contract, so make sure that you're truly understanding what you're reading. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, ask me. I can help you understand them a little bit better, although I think most of you, this is not your first course here at the Art Institutes, so I'm sure that you've read this information before, but still, just make sure you understand it fully. If at any time during the course you have any questions for me regarding this material or anything about the course in general, there's also the Questions for the Professor forum, which is also in that Course Home area. So I check that every day, and if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them up there. I encourage you to also keep up with the questions that are going on in there because other students might be asking things that will answer questions for you, or you might have an answer for one of your colleagues. So please feel free to post in there, ask questions in there. The only thing that you should not put in there is anything very personal or anything having to do with the specific assignment, which will be in the problems area of that assignment. The Problems and Solutions tab under that assignment is where questions for specific assignments should go. But anything about the course in general should be in the Questions for the Professor form. Anything that is personal should be dealt with individually. So you can always contact me privately via email at jarnall@aii.edu. You'll find that written out there in one of my announcements. You can contact me during my office hours. And as I said, anything that is not of a personal nature or about grading can be in the Questions for the Professor forum, which will generally help your colleagues as well. So I really encourage you to use that forum. At this point, you should already have your textbook, which is quite a large tome, The World History of Photography by Naomi Rosenblum. This course is going to require you to do a lot of reading, so my advice would be to keep up with each weekly assignment or you'll quickly find yourself overwhelmed. This is only 5.5 weeks and we're covering a lot of information. So really do keep up with that reading. And if you have any questions, again, reach out to me. Maybe I can give you some tips and some help. There's also a lot of different help options through the AiI, and you'll find those on each page. It'll say tutoring information. So just go ahead and click on that if you have any difficulty keeping up with the course or the readings. Stay on top of it. It's your job to reach out when you need the help. I'll be there for you, but in a virtual classroom, I can't stay on top of you as much as I would in the brick and mortar classroom. So really take responsibility for that. Reach out when you need help. Once you're done reading the course information and posting about that you've read and understood it, your first assignment for this week will be to introduce yourself to the class by posting an autobiography in the week 1 discussion area. In this, you'll want to let us know a little bit about yourself, as well as your experience with photography, with photo history. Give us an idea of some of your favorite photographers, your favorite periods or genres. I'd love to know that. I'd love to know your experience at the Art Institute so far and what you're expecting from this course. You'll have to comment leaving your own post. I've already left mine with my little brief autobiography. But then also please comment on your colleagues' introductions as well. You'll need to do at least 2 for your grade, but you should read every one of your colleagues so that you get to know each other as you would in a brick and mortar classroom. In addition to the autobiography, you're going to want to post your current portfolio or body of work in a previous course in the discussion area, just so we can get to know you a little bit more as well through that. Even though this is not a studio course, most of you, all of you, are photographers or artists of some kind. So, it's fun to get to see each other's work and to get to know each other in that way as well. In all of your assignments, part of your grade will be based on the participation, which is putting up your own post, but it's also responding to your colleagues. These are not light little, hey, great post. You want to actually give some substance to your colleagues, give them some guidance, some encouragement, a real critique. This is an important part of the course, and you'll want to ask questions or give general responses and overall experience of what they've put up. My role in the discussion areas is to monitor, to guide, to focus, and engage you in active learning, but your frequent participation is essential in this process. It's really what makes this a classroom. Some tips for this course just to help you. You're going to want to log in often. You're going to stay on top of the discussions. You need to be in the classroom at least 4 days of the week. That's all. I get all of that information virtually through the course catalogs when you're logging on and when you're posting. So you need to post at least 4 days out of the 7 of the week. It's essential that you know what your colleagues are saying and what I'm saying to them. So unlike the brick and mortar classroom, our dynamic is completely dependent in this virtual discussion. So it's really important to stay on top of that. You're going to want to familiarize yourself with the grading criteria for the course and for each assignment. The Art Institute does a great job of showing you exactly what you're going to be graded on, and there's really no reason not to get all of your points. Once you see exactly what you're going to be graded on, all you have to do is follow those general recommendations, and you should all be successful in this course, and I hope you will be. Your weekly progress is going to be recorded in the grade book, so it'll be in there by day 3 of the following week. I suggest that you read over each week's assignments well ahead of time. After week 1, late work is not going to be accepted, except at my discretion. Please read the late work policy so that you fully understand what you're getting yourself into. You're going to want to post your work and respond by the due date to avoid penalties. You're encouraged to contact me at any time if you have questions or concerns about your progress. There are multiple ways to reach me. The Questions for the Professor tab via email or telephone during my office hours. Also, that Problems and Solutions tab under each assignment is a great way to ask questions about the specific assignment. You might get some feedback from your colleagues. I also go there the first thing each time I check on the classroom. Remember that in the online environment, you have to take the reins for your own learning. Actively seeking help, actively seeking me out, actively talking to your peers as well. If there are any technical problems with the site, you're going to want to direct your questions to eCollege. That phone number is also in our announcements. Again, just welcome. I really look forward to working with you, and we'll get to know each other more. I'll talk to you again soon.